Hi, everybody. I'm here. Hi, Eve. The lovely Eve. Hi, Rakes. What should we talk about till some people get in here? Dylan Rounds was found today. That's a case I hadn't followed. But maybe I should have. It looks like it was kind of interesting. I'm going to have to read up on it. Anyway. I didn't know they had video of James Brenner covered in blood. That doesn't happen every day. Yeah. I just posted about that. I guess it was this morning. Hey, squirrely girl. Love ya. I just love squirrels. Everyone knows that. It gets me a lot of gifts. I actually had a friend in Israel send me a squirrel, a really nice squirrel coffee mug, just to cheer me up. So, where was I? Dylan Rounds. Oh, I have some ideas for some upcoming shows, and I still haven't figured out how to do a video. I guess I need to pay someone to show me how to do that or something. I do too. I have so many squirrel things. It's really amazing. And probably the coolest squirrel thing I have is a circle skirt from California, of course, from the 50s, turquoise color or aqua. And it was made by some famous designer back then. And it's got squirrels all along the bottom with real mink tails and walnut shells painted gold in front of the squirrels. I love it. Hey, Bob. How are you doing? What did I see? Something about WWE today. But maybe that's not. Oh, apparently, chair throwing, which we're going to discuss later, is something that they use in WWE. I don't watch it. I think that's what you watch. Apparently, there's another Lisa Kay out there who was ignoring Bob in a chat, and he thought it was me. I would never ignore Bob. I don't think I ignore anyone. Anybody I'm not going to talk to, I got blocked. I don't block too many people. Yeah, Bob has some interesting stories, interesting polls, and interesting facts. Hi, Tree Tree. Welcome. Haven't seen you in a while. So Bob's thing today was, has your cat ever started a fire? Isn't that what you asked, Bob? Correct me if I'm wrong. And actually, luckily, it wasn't a fire. However, I came home from work one night, which is not at 5 like normal people, but more like 10 at night. And in the kitchen, when I walked in the door, I could see one of my gas burners was on full blast. Yeah, his polls are interesting. Yeah, I like them too. So of course I freaked out. Luckily the bread wrapper was not closer to the fire or anything, but the grill was all discolored, of course, from being subjected to fire all day. And the only thing I can think of was I had used that burner the day before, and I think when I shut it off, I didn't shut it off far enough so that it clicked out the knob. And my cat was up there, and somehow must have spun the dial. That's all I can think of because nobody's in there. There's nobody else in here. Yeah, it was extremely scary. I can't tell you. I'm so lucky that nothing caught fire because I don't know how long it'd been on there, but yeah, that was kind of scary. All right. Does anybody want to come up on panel? I'm going to put the link here if it'll let me. No, I guess it's not going to let me. Shoot. Oh, well. Does anybody want to come up? Eve, do you want to come up? Let me figure out how to do that again. I might have to go out. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. You can be in the corner. There's the link, Eve. Hey, Kirst. Glad to see you. Okay, here comes Eve. Hey, girlfriend.
Hi, hon.
Glad to see you.
You too, honey.
After my fall, boy, I'm bruised. Even my boob is bruised.
Oh, my Lord. It's from all the accidents you've been having.
I have the most cursed life ever. I really do. You guys, I tripped or something in the bathroom and fell and knocked the litter box, flipped the litter box over, ripped the towel bar off the wall trying to stop my fall, and then bounced off 2 cat caves I have there by the tub because my cats like to sit there, and then landed on the floor. So
Oh, no.
so yeah, I'm kind of sore, kind of black and blue, and I still haven't put the towel bar. There's like a hole in the wall. To do there.
Yeah, I've seen that, all that. Remember, I told you to be more careful. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm clumsy. Well, and I don't have very good balance, but that's supposed to be getting better at my pulmonary rehab, so I don't know. Yeah. She doesn't want to, be called out. Okay. We don't have too many people in here. I wish more people were interested in law. Yeah, Kirsten, we just talked about Dylan Rounds being found. I did not follow that case, but what little I read today sounded kind of interesting, so maybe I'll have to brush up on that. But yeah, I still need to figure out how to do a video. I don't know why I can't figure that out. I should be able to. Maybe if I had Wi-Fi and a computer, it would be a little easier. Don't laugh at me.
Well, I got a lie. Honey, I don't know how to do that, all that stuff neither, so don't feel so bad.
I got I have since Comcast spent an hour or two on the phone with me helping me lower my bill, it's now $100 higher, and I haven't been able to sign into my Wi-Fi since they did that.
Oh,
So when I had to get a new phone because my old one wouldn't charge, I picked up a modem from Verizon, $45 a month with the Netflix and something else. So yeah, I'm gonna take that Comcast one back. Oh, that's fine. Thank you. I appreciate it. Bob just pops in to support me too, so. Squirrely girl. Yeah, I'd talk about Dylan, but I didn't follow that case, unfortunately. So, boy, the Sebastian Rounds case has kind of turned into a circus lately. I mean, Sebastian Rogers. What craziness. I guess it's replaced Summer Wells as conspiracy theory town. Okay, so let's get on with our first case here. Fright Night. Watchman beaten, poisoned, and ignored. London, England, 1967. Barnett v. Chelsea and Kensington Hospital Management Committee. At 5 a.m. New Year's morning, 3 night watchmen were drinking tea. Yeah, whatever. Likely story. It had been an eventful night. They had celebrated the new year with some drinks and fought off an intruder who injured one of them with an iron bar. The injured man had returned to work after being treated for a head wound at Chelsea and Kensington Hospital. Their shift was about to get worse. Immediately after tea, they all became violently ill with continuous vomiting and cramps. Still, they finished the last 3 hours of their shift in agony. At 8 a.m., they went to the hospital and saw a nurse. She phoned the doctor. The doctor, who was also sick, said, "Well, I'm vomiting myself and I have not been drinking. Tell them to go home, go to bed, and call their own doctors." One of the watchmen, William Barnett, went back to work, curled up on the break room floor, and died at 1:30 that afternoon. The coroner concluded that some person with murderous intent had introduced arsenic into the tea. Barnett's widow sued the hospital for negligently failing to see Barnett. At the trial, the hospital said that even if the doctor was negligent, the doctor's failure to see Barnett did not cause its death. It pointed out that arsenic poisoning was extremely rare and looked like food poisoning. Therefore, there was no chance of diagnosing arsenic poisoning, locating the antidote, and giving it to him in the short time before he died. Does Barnett's widow win? What'd you say, Eve?
I'm gonna say no.
You don't think she wins?
Well, I mean, you just have to guess and find out for sure.
Let's see. They went to the hospital at 8 a.m.
You know I'm no good at these.
Kerr says no. Squirrely Girl says no. Tree says yes. Does Barnett's widow win? Consider, would it matter if Barnett had died the next day? Well, if it was the next day, then maybe they would have had a chance to diagnose it, look at the antidote. He died at he went to 8 a.m., went back to work and died at 1:30. The hospital would settle out of court these days. Yeah, they do. Hey, birdies, welcome. Let's see. I don't know. Does Barnett's widow win? Sued the hospital for negligently failing to see Barnett. She phoned the doctor. I think she does win. I'm gonna guess. What? I was wrong. High Court of Justice. Barnett's widow loses. I usually have to read this stuff myself. Oh, you're a visual kind of person. Barnett's widow loses. The doctor was negligent, but his negligence did not cause Barnett's death. That's interesting. The court determined that the doctor negligently breached his duty to see the 3 sick men. It did not matter that the doctor was unwell. It was his duty and there was nobody else. But to win the lawsuit, it's not enough to show negligence. You must show that the negligence caused the injury. I knew that. I don't know what I was thinking. The judges agreed with the hospital. Even if the doctor had seen Barnett, the odds of diagnosing arsenic poisoning were extremely low. In England, only 1 in every 66,000 emergency room visits was due to arsenic poisoning. That sounds high to me. I wouldn't have thought it was that prevalent. There were many more visits for food or alcohol poisoning. I can see that, yeah. And the doctor would not only have to diagnose arsenic poisoning, he would have had to find the antidote and give it to Barnett before his death at 1:30 in the afternoon. The court considered this to be too improbable, so ruled that murder, not negligence, was the cause of death. Of course it was. Why wasn't I thinking that? But who do you think poisoned 3 night watchmen? It doesn't say what kind of, Now I'm going back and reading it again. It doesn't say what kind of business they were at. And they fought off an intruder who injured one of them with an iron bar. Okay. We'll go on to the next one. Birdie said, hey, or Eve. Okay. Farmer sued over salt lick on Sugartown Road, Easton, Pennsylvania. Have you ever licked a salt lick? It doesn't really taste like salt.
How do you know, Lisa?
You know, and a salt water doesn't taste anything like salt water either. Oh, God. Okay.
Okay, whatever.
Speaking of licking things, no, I'm not going to go there. But I got my cat an automatic water. This was like probably 20 years ago. And it was like a dome thing. And then the first time I washed it with soapy water and everything, because this was Rufus. He was my boy. And when I started it up again, I got down there and licked the water to see if it tasted like soap to make sure.
Oh, my.
And my fiance said, do not ever tell anyone you did that.
Well, to me, salt water tastes just like salt water, salt and water. So,
What? Salt water in the ocean, though. Oh, just tastes nasty to me. I tasted my hamsters. Your hamsters what once? Does your hamster? Oh, your hamster has a salt lick? Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Oh, Tree, it's something you put out for cattle. I don't know. Do you do it for horses too? Just to keep their potassium up. Oh, this is for deer. Okay. Easton, Pennsylvania. Okay, salt lick. I didn't know hamsters had them. Easton, Pennsylvania, 1995, Calvert v. Zimmer and Hawkins. Yeah, I was like, what? Yeah. Deer. According to the insurance industry, November is the month with the most deer-related car accidents. Probably if you weren't in a state with a lot of deer, you wouldn't know that, but yeah, I'm in a state with an enormous amount of deer. And this is in Pennsylvania, which also has a lot of deer. Donna Calvert. Oh, Kirst, you're right. I don't know. Parakeets, but can they lick things? No,
No, I didn't have nothing like that for my parakeet, so I don't know.
I don't know. That's interesting.
I don't know neither, but like I said, I didn't have them when I had my parakeet. So
I think everybody needs salt. Now you have to have the iodine in the salt. I know you need that because there's is that in Tibet where all the people are short and have some mental deficiencies because they don't have the iodine. I know they
yeah,
ship iodine to them.
but not all salt has iodine. You have to look at
Right.
it real.
You have to have iodized salt, yeah.
Yeah.
And I use a lot of designer and flavored salts, so yeah, I have to be careful of that. Cows or horses? I'm pretty sure cows and horses. Okay, so Donna Calvert was driving on the road next to Alexandra Hawkins' farm when a deer jumped into the road. It was hit by Zimmer's car, then landed on Calvert's car, killing a passenger. Calvert claimed that Hawkins encouraged deer to gather on her farm by having a salt block and did not post a sign to warn passing cars of the dangerous conditions she helped create. Calvert sued Hawkins for wrongful death and damages. Calvert's suit against Zimmer was settled out of court. How could she have does Calvert win against Hawkins, the owner of the salt lick? How can she sue Zimmer, who hit the deer? Because it wouldn't have been her fault that the deer landed on the other person's car, right?
I have no idea.
I guess they didn't want to take it. Okay. Does Calvert win against Hawkins, the owner of the salt lick? Yeah, I agree, Squirrely Girl.
Yeah, I would say no too, but
I don't think she could possibly when a deer jumped into the road. Well, yeah, it doesn't say she had it there in a deer farm. She probably had it there for her cattle and horses or whatever. So you wouldn't assume that they would be running into the road. It doesn't say that. Wait, no, it doesn't say that. Driving on the road next to her farm, so I'm assuming it was not a private road. Consider how would this be different from a dead tree on the edge of Hawkins' property? If a dead tree was on her property and fell into the road, now that might be negligence. I don't know. Okay, does Calvert win against Hawkins? I say no. Calvert loses. United States District Court for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania. Hawkins did not own, possess, or shelter deer, so she is not responsible for its actions. Yay! Cursed. I think we all got that right.
yep, we all said no.
Hawkins did not have a duty to protect Calvert. Landowners are not responsible for controlling native wild animals that may live or wander onto their property. For Hawkins to be responsible for the deer, she would have to own, possess, or harbor them. Feeding a wild animal without controlling where it goes does not count. Landowners are responsible for dangerous conditions that they control, like farm animals, rotten trees. Yep, that's what I said. I thought that would be negligent. Or rocks that could fall or roll onto public roads. A Pennsylvania law excluded wild animals from being classified as a dangerous condition. Pennsylvania did not want to be liable every time a car hit a deer that jumped from public land onto a road. As a practical matter, it would be impossible to stop wild animals from crossing roads. Yep, I agree. That one was pretty straightforward, actually, I think. Okay, next one. Friend abandons injured pal in the back seat of the car. Uh-oh. Detroit, Michigan. What do you know? 1976, the year I graduated high school. Eve, did you post Kirst's link?
I can't right now while I'm up on Paddler.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Kirst, feel free to post your link. I don't know how to do that. Okay. Farwell v. Seacrest and others. Ricky Farwell, 18, and David Seacrest, 16, were hanging out, drinking beer in Farwell's car. There we go. They're already illegal. When two girls walked by, they tried to talk to them but were ignored. They walked after the girls until the girls reached a restaurant. At the restaurant, the girls told their pals they were being followed, and 6 boys came from Seacrest and Farwell. The two ran. Seacrest escaped into a store, but Farwell was caught and beaten. He's the 18-year-old. Seacrest rallied some of the workers in the store. They grabbed bottles and pipes and confronted the 6, who then left. Seacrest gave Farwell an ice pack, and Farwell gave Seacrest the keys to his car. Over the next 2 hours, they talked and discussed revenge as they drove around to 4 drive-in restaurants, including McDonald's and White Castle. Farwell fell asleep in the back of the car, and Seacrest drove him home. He parked the car in Farwell's driveway. He tried to wake him but could not, so he left. When asked why he left him in the car, Seacrest said, "Ricky was hurt bad. I was scared. I know I should have told someone." He was found in the morning and taken to the hospital. He died 3 days later from bleeding in the brain. Farwell's father sued Seacrest for the negligent rescue, particularly his failure to notify anyone that Farwell was unconscious, which delayed the medical treatment that could have saved his life. Does Farwell win? Oops. You're back, Eve. Oh, Eve's gone again. She'll be back. Okay. Does Farwell win? There we go. You're back.
Yeah, I know. I got myself back up there. Sorry, I knocked myself off.
Hey, Lindsay, welcome. Yeah, Squirrely Girl, you're not sure. Let's see. Was Farwell asleep or unconscious? Let's see. I don't think, well, he gave him an ice pack, right? And drove him home. Is that considered starting to rescue? Hi, Melissa Brown. You think he wins? Negligent rescue. Well, he admitted, right?
I said yes.
That he was hurt and he should have told someone. What a heartbreaking situation, really. And I think this happens a lot. Kids, somebody overdoses at a party or something and the kids are scared and they don't tell anyone. Does Farwell win? Anybody else have a guess? Boy.
I said yes.
Farwell's father sued Seacrest for the negligent rescue. Yes. Squirrely Girl says no, he does not. Let's see. I don't know. Does Farwell win? I'm going to say no. Farwell wins.
I said yes. See?
You won, E.
Yeah, I won all 3 of them so far.
Whoa! Supreme Court of Michigan. Farwell wins. Seacrest had a duty not to abandon his friend without telling anyone of his injuries. The first judge and jury ruled for Farwell. So I guess that was me. Then the Michigan Court of Appeals ruled for Seacrest. It said that he did not have a duty to rescue Farwell because there was no legally recognized special relationship. And it said there was no way for Seacrest to know how much danger Farwell was in. I know, everybody's cheering you on. 10 years after the tragedy, wow, 10 years, the Supreme Court of Michigan restored the decision of the first judge and jury. The court said that, in this case, a person's legal duty should mirror the commonly accepted code of social conduct. The court ruled that friends on adventures must give assistance when one is in peril if the other can do so without endangering himself. That's interesting. Seacrest knew or should have known when he left Farwell, who was badly beaten and unconscious, in the back seat of his car, that no one would find him before morning. Under these circumstances, Seacrest had a duty to get medical help, or at least tell someone where Farwell was. The law acknowledges that there are certain relationships that can create a duty to rescue, including employer-employee, innkeeper-guest, and carrier-passenger. In Michigan, that list includes companions on a social venture. That's interesting. Maybe that's just a Michigan law. You got to feel sorry for the dad. I mean, if somebody just would have told him.
Yep, I agree with that.
That's just tragic. Okay, just a minute. I gotta get a drink of my Diet Coke here.
I drink that zero Pepsi. I love Pepsi.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I've been drinking Diet Coke for forever. Well, I used to drink Coke. And when I was a kid, my mom would limit me to one a day. Seriously, Mom? So, I wouldn't drink it all day because, I didn't want to drink it and then not have to be able to have another one. And then sometimes at night I would be too tired. Okay, let's see if Eve can be unbeaten here.
Yeah, probably the next one will get me.
Chimney crashes into bedroom, inspector blamed. Norwich, England, 1990, Smith v. Eric S. Bush. Jean Smith wanted to purchase a house. Her mortgage company was required by law to get the property inspected and appraised. She paid her mortgage company for the appraisal and inspection, and they hired the firm Eric S. Bush. Even though Bush had an agreement with only the mortgage company, Bush knew that most buyers of modest homes, like Smith, would rely on inspection and would not pay for another. After touring the property, Bush's building inspector wrote, "No essential repairs are required." So Smith bought the house. However, the inspector had failed to note that the chimney construction was faulty. 18 months later, part of the chimney fell through her roof and caused damage to the loft and master bedroom. She sued Bush for the damage that could have been avoided had the home inspection not been negligent. Does Bush win?
Yes.
You say yes?
I'm going to say yes, but I'm probably wrong. But anyway.
Oh, curse. Yeah. Big glass. Yes. I remember that when it came. Those glass bottles were heavy, too.
Oh, I love those big old glass bottles.
Okay. Squirrely Girl says yes. Lindsay says probably no. Consider, does it matter that Bush and Smith have no contract? I think she doesn't win. Although she paid for the appraisal and inspection by our mortgage company, right? Boy. Hey, birdies, is there a contractual clause? I doubt it. Okay, so no, yes. What did you say, Eve? Yes?
Yes.
Does Smith win? She could have hired her own, but she paid for this one. I'd say no, she doesn't. Oh, 18 months, Melissa. 18 months. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Well, I never thought about the years in that thing, so.
Yeah, right, how much time? That's quite a while. That's a year and a half.
Yeah, but usually it takes longer than that when you buy a place. I mean.
Yeah, that's true, and that's a structural thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
that's one of them tricky ones.
I say no, she does not win. Smith wins. You're right, Eve, again.
Yay!
Melissa Brown was right too. Smith wins even without an agreement. Bush had a duty to Smith. Bush had a duty to perform the inspection to the standard of a professional building inspector. Everyone agreed that Bush breached that duty. The next question was whether Bush had a duty to Smith. The elements for duty to Smith were all there. Bush knew that she paid for the inspection, that it would be shared with her, and that she would likely rely on it. Together, these elements establish a duty to Smith. The court did set limits on the extent of Bush's liability, saying that future buyers of property would not be able to seek money from Bush for the negligent inspection. In general, it makes sense to purchase your own home inspection to avoid these sort of problems. I would agree with that. That's kind of like our car thing from last week. Remember that? Where the lady asked her friend to inspect the car for her. Uh-oh. Oh, curse of curiosity. If so, boy, do I got a lawsuit on my hands. They failed to tell us water leaked in our foundation. Did you pay for the inspection for that? I would say you had a case. I know. Lindsay says, get it, Eve. Oh my God. Looks like you could make money being a good building inspector.
Yeah, my daughter has problems out of water getting her basement too.
I think that's a common problem, isn't it?
I guess so. I've never had a basement, so I don't know.
I'm trying to think of where you live. Yeah, I don't think people in Florida don't have basements either, do they? Michigan, everybody has a basement.
Not that I know of.
A
lot of people in Tennessee got basements, but I live in an apartment. I don't have a basement.
Oh yeah, I live in an apartment too, Eve.
but we have attics on top of our apartment.
Can you get to the attic? Yeah, we have a.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I can't now, but yeah, you can get to them.
Oh, that's kind of interesting. Finds lots of things that are going wrong with houses. Maybe, is it shoddy construction? I know there's a lot of problems with building contractors here, taking money and not doing work or doing half of it. Yeah, Squirrely Girl, I didn't think Florida had basements. I bet you that's because of the water table or something too. Yeah, it seems like, that's what you're paying them for, right? Is an inspection? I don't know. Okay. Case 55. Cigarette and flammable trash can cause motel fire. Duluth, Minnesota, 1979. Edgewater Motels v. Gatsky and Walgreen. Arlen Gatsky was a hardworking American who smoked, drank, and dedicated himself to his employer all at the same time. Walgreen, his employer, sent him to Duluth to open a restaurant. The pace was intense, and Gatsky had just finished working his seventh 17-hour day in a row. That night, Gatsky drank heavily at a local bar while he talked business with a coworker and learned as much as he could about running a bar from the bartender. He returned to his motel room after 1 a.m. and did what he did every night before bed, smoked cigarettes while filling out his expense report. Finally, he put out his cigarette in his wastebasket and went to sleep. Why would you put it out in the wastebasket? Moments later, a fire started in his wastebasket. Instead of containing the fire, the plastic wastebasket also went up in flames. The fire spread quickly. Nobody was injured, but the motel suffered more than $300,000 in damages. Edgewater Motels sued Gatsky and separately Walgreen for the damages. Walgreen said that Gatsky was not doing company business when he started the fire and accused Edgewater of negligently using flammable wastebaskets. Edgewater argued it was not negligent because the use of such wastebaskets is commonplace. Does Edgewater win against Gatsky? Does Edgewater win against Walgreen?
Oh my. I'm not
okay.
sure about this one.
Okay, yeah, it's confusing. Wait, Edgewater Motels was the one that caught fire. Gatsky started the fire. And Walgreen was his employer. Walgreen said that Gatsky was not doing company business when he started the fire. Okay, I disagree with that because he was on company business. He was in another town working for his employer, staying in a hotel paid for his employer. I'd say he was definitely doing company business. So I would say Walgreen is negligent. And who would put their cigarette out in a wastebasket? I don't think it's commonplace. Business. They went against the guy, but not the employer. Against the individual, but not the business. Was smoking allowed? That's a good question. Because I was just in a hotel last week, and someone smoked in one of the rooms. I forget, $250, the maintenance man said they charge you for that. I said that was an expensive cigarette. Like the guy couldn't step outside.
I'm gonna say no.
Smoking cigarettes is not part of the business. That's true. Well, he was also drinking. What if he got in a car accident? Yeah, you're right. I would say his employer would not be responsible for a drunk driving accident. He's too negligent, too much for company to be responsible for. Okay. I agree with you guys. Yes against Gadsky. I don't know. Can a motel sue a guest for something like that?
I have no idea, but I don't know.
So what are you saying, Eve?
No to both.
Yeah, okay, I don't think they can sue the company. All right, let's see. Ooh. I don't think the employer should be responsible. Supreme Court of Minnesota, so this one went on for a while. Edgewater loses to Gatsky. So the guy that set the fire with the cigarette is not at fault. Split decision against Walgreens. Edgewater is 40% at fault. Gadsky was doing company work, so Walgreens was liable. Edgewater was negligent for using flammable plastic waste baskets. That does make sense, but you wouldn't think a person would put a cigarette out in one. Walgreens is liable and not Gadsky because Gadsky was acting as an employee until he fell asleep. Completing expense reports helped the company prepare its accounts. Well, that's a good point. He was smoking while he was preparing his expense report. I missed that.
Okay. Missed that.
So he was working. The court concluded that Gadsky did not abandon his employment while eating, drinking, or smoking. He said that such activities involve only slight deviations from work that are reasonable under the circumstances. The motel knew that the waste baskets were frequently filled with cigarette butts and matches. Well, that's a good point, too. And should have known that the plastic was flammable. In short, a fire starting in the wastebasket was foreseeable. Edgewater's argument that it was not negligent because other hotels used flammable plastic wastebaskets did not impress the court.
Well, I told you
Yeah,
tricky one.
I don't think so. What I'm not the only one is ever an excuse. The court said that the motel should be compared with a reasonable motel owner and not a similarly negligent one. Yeah, everybody's surprised at this one. Well, it went to the Supreme Court, so it went through the appeals court. So Edgewater's 40% at fault, so they got 60% of $300,000 from Walgreens. Who I'll bet you fired Gadsky. What do you want to bet?
I bet he did too.
You're done. Okay, women seized hurt in fraternity gauntlet run. Uh-oh. Bloomington, Illinois, 1987. Rabel v. Illinois Wesleyan University. That is a religious university, too. The Phi Gamma Delta fraternity brothers, many with painted bodies and carrying bones, were gathering outside the dorm after a lengthy and boisterous party. This is always a dangerous situation. Sherry Rabel was in her dorm room when she got a call from one of the fraternity brothers, Jack Wilk, who asked her to come to the lobby. She came, and then he, without her consent, picked her up, threw her over his shoulder, and ran out of the building, and three gauntlet of fraternity brothers who struck him with bones as he passed. Bones. Bones, Birdie. This is in 1987. Well, I guess they used bongs then, didn't they? Wilk, who had been drinking, fell as he carried Rabel. She was severely injured in the fall. Rabel sued Wilk, the fraternity, and the university. Wilk and the fraternity settled out of court. Rabel continued to press her suit against the university. She claimed that it was negligent because it was aware of the excessive drinking and still failed to control the fraternities. Does Rabel win against Illinois Wesleyan University?
I'm gonna say no.
Well, let's see. She settled out of court with the fraternity and Wilk. Okay, Squirrely Girl says yes. I say yes. Yep, Curse says yes. Birdie doesn't know. I say yes. I agree that universities do well. Yeah. Yes. I think they do have, let's see, she sued the fraternity. Yeah, big money. That's true. She went for the deep pockets there, although the fraternities have some money too. Okay, let's see. Rabel loses.
Yay!
This went to the Appeals Court of Illinois. Well, Melissa, no, evidently not. As landlord, the university does not have a duty to Rabel. The court said that the university, as landlord, fulfilled its duty to exercise reasonable care, but it did not have a further duty to ensure student safety from criminal acts of third parties. This was because the university did not have a special relationship with its students, like that of an innkeeper and guest. If it did, it would have had a further duty to protect Rabel from harm. The court also said that the foreseeability of harm alone was not enough to create a duty. The likelihood of injury from the situation and the extent of the burden to prevent injury must also be taken into account. I'd say the moral of that is if a drunk person calls and asks you to meet him outside, don't go. Always a bad idea. That's a weird thing. He ran through and they hit him with bones. Why did he have to have a girl on his shoulder? Who knows with fraternities? Exactly, squirrely girl. Don't go. Don't go. Okay. Oh my God, you guys are not going to believe this. Case 57. Golfers shelter under tree on hilltop in thunderstorm. This happened in Warriors Path State Park, Tennessee. Do you believe that?
Oh God. I'm about 30 minutes. I think about 30 minutes away from that.
Warriors Path is where that's where Summer Wells went. I know, Birdie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Okay. 1991, which I consider just yesterday. I can't believe the 90s were so long ago. Okay, Hames v. Tennessee. Philip Hames and two other friends. I didn't know they even had a golf course there. It must be a pretty big park. Birdie says
I'm about 30 minutes from there.
Wow, you guys are pretty close to each other.
Yeah, I remember it is.
Philip Hames and two other friends rented golf carts at the Warriors Path State Park golf course. 25 minutes after they teed off, a violent storm came up. Most of the other golfers took refuge in the clubhouse, but three men decided to shelter under a couple of trees at the top of a small hill, 800 yards, a 2-minute drive from the clubhouse. Okay, what frickin' morons. Doesn't everyone know that you don't get under trees during a thunderstorm, especially when on top of a hill? Okay. Oh, that's sweet. You're so lucky. I'd like to live closer to Eve. You do remember this? Yes. Birdies, 1991. The storm lasted 20 minutes. Soon after it ended, the three golfers were found under one of the trees, which had been struck by lightning. Hames died from cardiac arrest caused by the lightning strike. There were no weather shelters on the course, even though the golf course had requested funding from Tennessee to build them. This is a state park. Okay, so that would be the state's responsibility. 1991. You're pretty young, Birdie. There had been what?
I'm old.
Me too. There had been no weather warnings posted at the clubhouse, nor did the golf course employees make an effort to clear the course. The course did not have a warning siren. Is that typical for a golf course? I don't know anything about golf. Hames' widow, Would a siren be loud enough to cover the whole course? I don't know. Do courses usually have weather shelters? Anybody here golf?
Not me.
No, me either. Hames' widow sued the state of Tennessee, which operated the golf course, for negligently failing to warn the golfers of the approaching storm. Does Hames win?
No.
Let's see. Consider, does the golfers have a duty to provide shelter on the course itself? I would say no. No, I've never heard of a siren on a golf course either. I mean, we have tornado sirens, but not thunderstorm warnings. Okay, so I don't think she wins either. No. It was never solved. Do you know that? um, no, she doesn't win. I mean, wouldn't it be up to them to check the weather before they went golfing? That's common sense. Okay. Hames loses. Yay, we're all right. Squirrely girl.
Oh, Skirty Girl's a lot of fun, I'm telling you. I love her to death. She's my best friend.
It was never solved. Ooh, this went all the way to the Supreme Court. Hames loses. Hames assumed the risk of being struck by lightning when he did not heed the warning of thunder. Oh, I'll be darned. So just the thunder itself was enough to warn you. How do you prove the cause of cardiac arrest? Who doesn't love Eve? I love Eve and Bob. I love everybody in my chat. How do you prove the cause of a cardiac arrest anyway? Well, being hit by lightning would probably be enough to cause cardiac arrest, I would think. I don't know. They could probably tell that in an autopsy, maybe. The court assumed that Hames, like every adult, knew the danger of lightning. Didn't he get struck by it? Hit. Oh, it doesn't say. Birdies. Philip Hames and two other friends rented golf carts. So they did have golf carts they could have went to. It said a 2-minute drive to the clubhouse. It just says they decided to shelter under a tree. Soon after the storm ended, the three golfers were found under one of the trees, which had been struck by lightning. So the tree struck by lightning. Okay, it did not matter that the course did not warn him because lightning is accompanied by thunder, the ominous sound of the approach of the power in the storm. No warning device could be louder or be more accurate than thunder. That's a good point. Thunder warns all persons that lightning is near. It just does not seem that man can devise any warning device which approaches the efficiency of thunder. The court pointed out that the men were a mere 2-minute drive from safety, and most of the other golfers had made it back to the clubhouse before the storm broke.
Well, don't you have to snap get out of the storm?
Yes. I mean, if you hear thunder coming closer, you would know that it's going to rain pretty soon, right?
That's what I was thinking. I mean, come on, it's common sense.
Yep. The men could have made it to the shelter if they heeded the warning of thunder. The lack of an on-course shelter or warning siren was not unusual, so the course did not breach its duty of care for the golfers. Under a tree at the top of the hill may be the worst place to shelter.
Because, it is.
I know, that's what I think. Didn't they have any common sense whatsoever?
No, it don't sound like it.
And this was in 1991. I wonder if they were drinking. I know they should be smart enough to know not, especially a tree on a hill. It grounded out. Yep. We had lightning strike a tree in our yard that was oh, I don't know what you want to call it, but it was staked. It had a wire on it to a stake to straighten it. It was a young tree. And lightning hit that. I saw it. And it went down the wire. It went across our yard. And the sod was just flying up. And then it went across our concrete patio and chipped the concrete all the way across and went to the transformer in the basement and started
Now
a fire.
let me tell you a strange story.
Okay.
Where I live, it was a few years ago, we had a real bad lightning storm. Honey,
Yeah.
that lightning came back out down behind my car and opened up my trunk and got my trunk all wet.
No way.
Yes. If anything weird and strange happens, it always happens to me.
Or me.
I mean, maybe that's we probably get along so good. Well, weird and strange. Scrutty girl's weird and strange just like we are, so I guess that's why come I get along with her too, maybe.
Uh-oh. Let's see. We got 3 more. Here we go. Case 58. Man keeps Birdie, I know. Man keeps pet bear. It does not end well. That's like people that keep pet tigers. Yeah, I don't think a bear is not a pet. I'm sorry. Nebraska City, Nebraska. 1959. Crunk v. Glover. I think it's Glover. Kenneth Glover owned a barn where he showed and sold livestock to the public. Oh, yay, a pet bear. Yeah. It does not end well. To entertain customers, Glover would sometimes do a show with a 300-pound black bear. He would bring out the bear without a collar, and the bear would do tricks and drink from a pop bottle. Why would you do that to a bear? And he's selling livestock. Why did they need to be entertained with the bear? Okay. Bears and humans remind me of the great outdoors when they shoot that bear in its butt. Is that a movie, Birdies? The Great Outdoors.
Yeah, I think it is. I think I've seen it. I'm trying to think. I think I've seen it.
Okay, though not its owner, he kept the bear in his barn. The bear's pen had a gap that it could reach through with its jaws. On the cage, Glover had posted a small sign 7 feet above the floor that said in red crayon, "Bear danger." He's not the owner. There was no other notice that there was a bear in the barn. So when William Crunk was looking at livestock in the barn, he had no idea there was a bear there. Crunk stepped back and unwittingly put his hand on the bear's cage. The bear bit off the end of his ring finger. Oh, damn. The great outdoors. Crunk sued Glover for his medical bills and the cost of hiring laborers to work his farm during his recovery. Crunk said that Glover knew the bear when confined to be untamed, savage, and to have a propensity for mischief. That sounds like legal language, doesn't it? Crunk said that the bear had clawed others who had wandered too close to the cage. Glover, on the other hand, called the bear a domesticated animal, peaceful, gentle, friendly, and companionable. No, it's a bear. He claimed that Crunk had put his finger in the bear's cage to play with it. Well, I doubt that. Does Crunk win? Yeah. That was horrible. That monkey ripped her face off. That was horrible. Oh, John Candy. John Candy was hilarious. Yeah, no, he didn't kill her friend, Chris, but he ripped her face off, and she also lost her fingers, I think. That was horrible. Okay, does it matter that Glover is not the bear's owner?
Oh my.
Okay, Birdie says Crunk wins. Okay, he's not the owner. However, he owned the barn, right? And I think he has a duty to protect his customers, wouldn't he? It's a bear, so it's not domesticated. And it had a gap in the pen. Okay, so everybody's saying yes. Yes.
I'm
Crunk
gonna say
wins.
no.
You're going to say no?
Yeah.
No, he does win. Oh,
Okay.
Eve, you broke your streak.
Yeah.
This one,
Well, I did better than I have been doing, so that's
you
still 80.
have. You have. Okay, this went to the Supreme Court. If you keep wild animals, you are liable for the injuries they cause. In most states, if you keep wild animals, you are strictly liable for the injuries they cause. Strict liability means that even if you take precautions that would normally be sufficient, you're still liable if somebody gets hurt. Courts think that the benefit to society of keeping wild animals is low, so people who do so should be held to a strict standard of safety. This does
Okay.
not. What?
Okay, I
Okay.
think it's wrong, but that's just me.
No.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Lisa. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Birdies, it just said bear danger, 7 feet above the floor on the cage. Okay. Yeah. Um. This does not mean that Crunk could win if he broke into a locked cage with warning signs and put his hand into the bear's mouth. That would be a clear assumption of risk. The law says the animal's keeper, not owner, is responsible first and foremost. To use an extreme example, if you take another person's pet rattlesnake for a slither down the street, you're responsible if it bites someone. Yeah, I'm not taking anybody's wild animal down the street. Okay. Let's see. Teen drinks too much at Country Tavern, crashes car. Baltimore, Maryland. There's a lot of drinking teens in these cases tonight. 1951, Joyce v. Hatfield. Frank Love, who was underage, drove his friends to the Valley Inn, a tavern owned by Hatfield. The tavern was located far from homes and only accessible by car. And it's in quotes, so it's going to be important. Hatfield sold liquor to Love, who became drunk. Hatfield continued to sell liquor to Love even after he was intoxicated. By the time Love left the tavern, he was in no condition to drive. Yet he did drive, and he crashed into James Joyce's car. Joyce tragically died. Joyce's widow sued Hatfield for negligently selling liquor to a minor and allowing a visibly drunk person to leave the premises and drive. Does Joyce win? Yes.
Yes.
I think, well,
Well, you can't never tell.
I know that's what I'm going to say. You guys are not going to believe this.
What?
What? What? This went to the Court of Appeals. Joyce loses. The court held that Hatfield had no duty to Joyce.
Okay, I disagree with all these decisions.
Okay. I can see. Boy, I don't think that would hold up today. But he drove and crashed into James Joyce's car. Now, if he died, he could sue. Okay, let's read what their reasoning. The court said that there was no legal relationship between Hatfield and Joyce, so Hatfield had no duty to Joyce. Without a duty, there was no negligence. The court thought it was the job of the Maryland legislature to pass laws making bars liable if that's what the legislature wanted to do. I believe they did that now. But this was in 1951. For most of the history of common law, the drunk alone was responsible for their negligence. So even if a bartender continued to serve an obviously drunk person, the bar could not be liable.
Well, that is okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they sold it
I was born in 1952, so it's an okay.
Yeah, 1951. So recently, some states have passed laws that make restaurants and bars liable when they serve alcohol to minors or overserve their patrons. These laws vary widely, even in states right next to each other. When there is no local law, sometimes the courts act. For example, in Washington, D.C., courts have held bars liable for negligence caused by an underage customer or by a person who was served when visibly drunk. In Maryland, it was not until 2016 that bars became liable for alcohol-related injuries caused by an underage drinker. I think pretty much everybody is now. Hopefully, this case is what spurred states to pass those laws. Interesting. Now, yeah, Kirst, I think they do. That's kind of what happened to Riley Strain, right? He was switched to water and then escorted out of the bar.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, because they could be held responsible. I've been cut off in a bar before. Once. And then drove home. They let me drive home. Without warning, cargo ship sinks in calm seas. This is the Mediterranean Sea off the coast of Algeria. This is going to be a little harder, I think. 1985, Risa Shipping v. Edmonds. The Poppy M, a cargo ship owned by Risa Shipping, was carrying sugar from France to North Yemen. In calm morning seas off the coast of Algeria, the engine room crew suddenly heard a loud noise, felt the ship shudder, and then saw the sea pouring through a 6-foot vertical gash in the ship's side. Despite the crew's efforts, the ship sank. All sailors were rescued in waters too deep for divers to inspect the wreckage. All agreed that the ship did not run aground because it was in the middle of the shipping lanes. The loud noise was not an explosion, which ruled out a mine, torpedo, or exploding boiler. Hitting a submerged object was not considered possible in calm seas because it would have hit the bow, not the middle of the ship. Based on the crew's description of the hole, Risa argued that an unseen submarine had surfaced into the ship. This type of accident was covered by its insurance policy. However, Edmonds, the insurance company, refused to pay. Edmonds argued that the most probable cause was negligent maintenance and prolonged wear and tear, which were not covered by the policy. Edmonds could not explain how or why wear and tear would suddenly cause a huge breach in the ship's side without an explosion. Risa sued. Because Risa sued, it was Risa's responsibility to prove its case. Does Risa Shipping win?
I'm not doing too good now.
This is a hard one.
I know. It seems like a life.
Okay, squirrely girl. We'll be here. Okay, consider, according to Sherlock Holmes in the sign of 4, when you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. I think that's a clue that they're saying that it probably was caused by a submarine. Yeah, I can't see how wear and tear would explain a loud noise and a 6-foot vertical gash in the ship's side. Yeah, it's got to be caused by something. Okay, so does Risa shipping win? I say yes. Neither could prove due to loss of evidence. In my opinion, that's true. I say they win. What do you say, Eve?
I say no.
Ah, you're right. Birdies is right. Birdies, did you cheat? Did you look it up? Birdies Googled. I'm kidding. Kidding. Yeah, I don't remember, but yeah, I think you're right. They did have a gash. Okay, Risa loses. Risa failed to prove its case. No Googling. The cause of the wreck was unknown. Risa won initially, but lost on appeal. The judges of the House of Lords agreed that the choice between the two theories was a false choice. They said that the lower court had overlooked the possibility that the cause was unknown and that Risa shipping had simply not proved its case. Court cases are built on evidence, not speculation, unlike social media cases.
Yeah.
The theory that a collision with a surfacing submarine sank the Poppy M was extreme speculation. A more likely cause was that an unknown one that neither side had considered. Well, I can see the reasoning there. Okay, so now, yeah, I wonder what did cause that explosion. Birdies was right. Loss of evidence. Yeah, speculation is just insane on social media lately. I almost can't. I can't.
Oh, tell me about it.
I can't stand it. I can't stand what they're doing to Sebastian. Hell, if it was me, I wouldn't want to come back after people had said all this stuff about me. Seriously, is any of that anybody's business? How does any of that help anybody find him? It's just gossip, really. I got kicked out of a Facebook group because I said this guy was going to go to where the Proudfoots are camping with a bullhorn. Yeah, that's going to help. And pressure them into confessing. Well, I said, you don't know that they did anything.
That's what I say too, but nobody
There's no
listens.
evidence that they did anything. Well, all they do is lie. I'm like, well, stuff has come out about Seth too, so, or he could have wandered off. I mean, all possibilities are still open. Nobody's been named a suspect. And so, yeah, I got attacked in that group. And then I see somebody posted today, an anonymous poster in there said it's just a bunch of gossip girls in there, which it was, which is why I didn't get along in there.
Oh, I don't go to the Facebook groups.
It's all AI these days for some reason. Okay, so, and I hate AI. I hate all that fake stuff. And everybody's sharing it all. Okay, so, yeah, Melissa, exactly. The pull-ups and the sexual assault, and now, Sweetie Pilo, who I don't think...
Grab.
What?
It's a money grab on the Sebastian's case now.
Exactly. It exactly is. I made a post about that. It's the new money train. Summer Wells
Yeah.
was running dry. People were running out of things to talk about there, so now we can talk about Sebastian.
Yeah.
And Sweetie Pilo, I don't think much of her anyway because of something that she did that I don't think most people know. But now she has an anonymous source, of course they're anonymous, that said that Chris Proudfoot, Sebastian's stepdad, sexually abused his stepsister and his cousin.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Which is like the kind of the Don Wells thing. I said, good thing he's not female, or they'd say he was pregnant too. You know they would, because they did that in all the cases. They did that in the Madeline Soto case. And who was the other little girl that disappeared? They tried saying she was pregnant too. I can't think right now what her name was. Anyway, so here we are outing sexual assault victims. I'd be livid if that was me. That's not Sweetie Pilo or an anonymous source's story to tell. You don't tell about somebody being a sexual assault victim. That's their choice,
Yep, I agree with that too, honey.
whether they want to talk about that or not. Yeah, Audrey. Yes, Melissa, thank you. Yeah, that's just unforgivable to spread all that and rumors and everything. Now everybody will be digging into his stepsister and his cousin and splashing their stuff all over. What does that have to do with finding Sebastian? Nothing.
Well, none of that stuff has anything to do with finding Sebastian. I mean,
No, absolutely none of it. Yep, it's just gossip, and I don't know. People lose sight of the fact that these are people. These are real people with real lives, and you're ruining their lives for money. Oh, I don't think that.
I wonder if there wasn't a money grab, how many people would be coming on YouTube and talking about stuff?
Exactly. Yeah, I think it is all about money. Not me, because I'm not making any money, but
I don't make no money either because I don't have nothing. I no channel or nothing, but
I could make money. You don't. I know. I watch. I see what people do, and I know how I could go that way. You know, a lot of YouTubers that I've seen start out, they start out good. They're
yes,
factual and reasonable, logical. You know, and I like them. And then after 2 or 3 months, they go completely off the rails. You
yep.
know, start with the gossip, the speculation, the conspiracy theories, and, you know, then they get a lot of subs, and yep, then it's away we go. So
You're so right about that. I agree with you 100% on that.
I know, I see the things they do too. And, you know, oh, Summer Wells found is your headline, but then with the question mark, well, you know, that's clickbait to me. That's clickbait. And that just starts a bunch of rumors. I don't know, but there's no way I'm going to stop it. I don't have enough followers. Okay, so let's talk about a real case, a recent. Here's Morgan Wallen. Does everybody aware of him? He's a country singer. Not a huge one, but pretty well known. He's been around for a while. So he got arrested for throwing a chair off the roof.
I heard a little bit about that.
What?
I said I heard a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was Eric Church, who is a huge superstar, and I love him. He's my favorite. He opened a bar called Chiefs, which he's known as the Chief, and it was opening night. And Morgan Wallen got drunk and was up on the rooftop and threw a chair down onto the sidewalk from, its sources say, 5th or 6th story building. And it landed 3 feet from policemen that were on the sidewalk. So he got arrested and charged with 3 felony counts of reckless endangerment and 1 charge of disorderly conduct, which is a misdemeanor. So there's actual footage, and I couldn't really tell, but it's some kind of sky cam, and it said, "Watch for the chair." I watched it like 3 times, and I couldn't see the chair, but people reported that they saw him, and I guess he admitted it. So he said he's cooperating fully with authorities. He was released on bond, $15,250. He's smiling in his mugshot. So he lunged and threw an object. This is not the first time he's been arrested either. Evidently, they have a rooftop barbecue there, but I don't know why people think this is funny. So, reckless endangerment committed with a deadly weapon is a Class C felony. So, apparently, they consider the chair a deadly weapon. I don't know if I would have.
It could be a deadly weapon.
What?
It could be a deadly weapon.
You know, it could be. I wouldn't consider just a chair a deadly weapon, but yeah, it definitely
Well, they
could
can
have been.
use it as a deadly weapon.
Yeah, falling from 5 or 6 stories high onto someone definitely could kill you. There's no doubt.
I mean, that's
Especially
my reason for that.
No, Melissa, it didn't hit anyone. It landed 3 feet from apparently 3 police officers, which is why there's 3 counts of reckless endangerment. So let's see, I have reckless endangerment. Class E felony in Tennessee. A conviction for a Class E felony is more likely to result in probation, in a probation-only sentence. You know, I bet just because he's a celebrity that he'll get off. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, more than likely he'll get off maybe for a fine or something like that.
Yeah, Class C felony, not less than 1 year, no more than 6 years. In addition, the jury may assess a fine not to exceed $3,000. Well, $3,000 per count. I bet you he's going to plead down to just the disorderly conduct. Hi, Annie B. Welcome.
But then he get off of like a fine, more than likely.
Yep. Disorderly conduct, fighting or threatening behavior, refusing to obey an official order to disperse, or creating a hazardous condition without legitimate purpose. He definitely, I would say, did that, from what we know. So, disorderly conduct is a person commits an offense who, in a public place, with intent to cause public annoyance or alarm, engages in fighting or in violent behavior, creates a hazardous or physically offensive condition by an act that serves no legitimate purpose. A violation of this section is a Class C misdemeanor. So this is a fine of up to $50 and jail time of up to 30 days in jail. However, this is interesting. Keep in mind that disorderly conduct occurring at funerals is considered a Class B misdemeanor in Tennessee. That's odd that they would signal that. Is that a problem in Tennessee, disorderly conduct at funerals?
I don't know.
That's crazy that they needed to make a separate law for that. Yeah, so I'm saying he's going to get, I'm just guessing that he's going to get off. Oh, yeah, they're saying that's what his fans are saying, that he wants to be a rock star and that's rock star behavior. So I agree, Melissa. And I read that that's a common occurrence in WWE, throwing chairs on your opponents.
Yeah, my late husband used to watch that wrestling all the time.
Did he?
Yeah, he was a big wrestling fan.
Did you watch it too, Eve?
No, I don't like wrestling.
Yeah, he'll probably, I don't think he should either. Let's set an example. But yeah, he'll get probation. Or maybe 3 days in jail or something. I don't think he'll get jail. Yeah, I wish he would. He'll get a good lawyer and yeah, it'll be a fine. I'm willing to commit myself to that. Okay, does anybody have anything else to talk about?
No, not really, but I got me a new electric wheelchair.
A what?
A new
Oh,
electric wheelchair.
oh, awesome.
It's got a remote and everything. It's got Bluetooth with it.
Oh my God. Bluetooth.
Yeah, it got Bluetooth and everything with it.
What about did you get any news on your leg? Yeah.
No, they can't. There's nothing they can do about it. Like he said, I'll never be able to walk again. So
No,
I'll just have to accept it.
yeah, that's all you can do, isn't it?
Yeah, because when there ain't nothing they can do, he said my leg is so crooked, and he said I'll never be able to get that straightened out.
That's terrible. I'm sorry.
So I got to have all this stuff now to get around. So it is what it is.
Yeah,
But Scrotty Girl has been really a good friend to me. She's been helping me through all this.
really? She lives by you?
No, we talk on the phone all the time. She lives in Florida.
Oh.
We talk every day, sometimes twice a day.
Oh my God. That's good.
But she's a great friend.
Do they have someone that can come in and help you adapt your house?
Yeah, I've got a worker.
Yeah.
I right now I only get 13 hours, but I'm supposed to get more now. And yeah, I have a worker comes in every day.
Oh, good. That's good that you're getting some help.
Yes, but
Yeah, what a terrible adjustment. I
yeah,
know my girlfriend had a friend that had a brain tumor, and when she came out of it, it was clearly malpractice. Nurses weren't watching the pressure overnight, and she went blind.
no, Melissa friend, honey, I don't have diabetes or nothing. I'm healthy, except my knees.
Yeah. Oh, Birdie's, yes. He is known for drinking. He had
Melissa
been
friend,
arrested.
honey, I had a knee replacement, and it all went wrong. That's how come I've got a broken knee and stuff, and my leg's crooked.
Can you sue for that, Eve?
We're trying. We're trying to now that we got this old doctor saying that he did it. So
Well, that's good. I mean, you ought to be able to get something. They'll probably settle out of court, I would think. Yeah, you should get something. That's terrible. I'm so sorry.
yeah, I know that was a devastating thing to me.
How long ago did you get the knee replacement?
well. Let's see. I got it. It's been a year and a little bit over half a year. So it's been about 18 months.
Oh, so not that long ago.
No.
Yeah, my dad's 90 and he wants to get both of them done at once. I said, no, you're not getting both of them done at once. I'd have to move up there and take care of him. I don't think they'll do both of them anyway, so.
No, I guess they won't. But I'm telling you, tell them to be really careful about having that done. How old's your daddy?
What?
How old is your daddy?
He's 9. He'll be 91 this year.
Oh my, he's thinking about going to have a knee operation?
Oh yeah.
Oh
Oh,
Lord.
he's really active. He worked until 3 years ago, I think. And
Yeah.
yeah, he exercises for an hour every day. He can do pull-ups. Who can do pull-ups?
Oh my Lord. Well, he does sound like he's active and
Oh yeah, he
strong.
is. Yeah, he is really active. So,
Thanks,
you know,
Bertie. I
and
appreciate it, honey.
he
I mean,
golfs and stuff. So,
it's just been hard to accept that you'll never be able to walk again.
yeah,
Yeah.
you have kids near you, don't you?
I have one, my daughter's near me. She's down in Kingsport.
Oh,
She's about 30 minutes away from me. She checks on me every day and stuff. She was up here Sunday.
well, that's good. You have some support at least there.
Oh yeah, I got my daughter and my daughter-in-law, and yeah. So then I got my caseworker. She's really good.
That's good. Yeah,
So
everybody needs an advocate. I think that has health
yeah.
problems. Yeah,
All I ask
somebody.
people to do, all I ask people to do, just pray for me. That's all I ask people to do. Just
Oh, we
you know,
definitely will. We definitely will.
and
Oh, birdies, don't put ideas in his head. He's in good health, but he is 91, and yeah, there's a little bit of help there, but yes, kudos to a good caseworker. Yes, that's a fact. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up, you guys. Appreciate everybody being here. Thanks, Eve, for coming up on panel, so I don't have to do
anytime,
notes.
I'll tell you what, I'll become your co-host. No, I'm just teasing.
No, you can't. I'd love that. Anybody can come up on panel. I don't care, and I have the greatest chat.
Well,
And
there's
YouTube.
Bob G. Good night, Bob.
Good night, Bob. Appreciate you popping in and out. Bob shows his support for me.
Yeah, Bob's a good old person there.
He is. He is. Good night, Rex, Birdies, Annie B.
Good night,
Well,
everyone.
Melissa. I think Squirrely Girl's already gone. So, yeah, everybody have a great week, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks for
Okay, honey.
coming. Bye.
Bye.